seriously, I'm going to be adamant about this. Don't be so hard on yourself. Listen to what you're saying about yourself. Listen to what you're programming into your subconscious while you're saying really bad things about yourself. Think about, would you let somebody talk like that to your kid, to your best friend, about your parents, about your partner? No, right? You would like jump and be mama bear or be a lion and rip people's heads off, right? If they're talking that way about somebody you love. So like, start loving yourself first.
Welcome to the Iron Mindset podcast, a podcast focused on discipline and strategy for women scaling lifestyle-led businesses. I'm Valentina, your host, a serial entrepreneur with almost 2 decades of business and marketing experience. And we're all here because we're in the business of number one. Today's guest is Anna Andrea, an event producer from El Salvador who calls herself the Incredible Experience Creator. She helps founders, coaches, and experts create unforgettable experiences through events and automation, both virtual summits and in-person experiences that actually get people engaged instead of passively watching and forgetting. In today's episode, we talk about discipline with grace, why Anna breaks her 300-plus task event checklist into daily actions that don't overwhelm her nervous system, and how giving yourself grace is actually part of being disciplined, not the opposite. Strategy that fits your cycle, why Anna plans her events during her ovulation week and never when she's PMSing, and how aligning your business with your body's natural rhythms prevent the burnout she's watched colleagues and millionaire friends experience. And the self-talk lesson, why you need to listen to what you're programming into your subconscious and whether you'd let anyone talk to your kid or best friend the way you talk to yourself. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive in. Anna, thank you for being a guest on this podcast. Please tell us a bit about yourself.
Thank you, Valentina, for having me. I'm Anna Andrea. I'm from El Salvador, and I am an event producer. I call myself the Irresistible Experience Creator. So I support founders and coaches and experts create irresistible experiences for their audiences using events and automation. And I have been in business for a long time. I've been doing events for over 15 plus years, and I got obsessed with digital marketing back when I was doing network marketing, and I realized I could mesh my both passions, technology and events. So since then, I've been helping founders and experts create and host online summits, and I'm branching out back to in-person events because I love bringing the community together. I love how events change lives and how they can transform everything, literally. So I'm here because the events out there are a little, the bar is in hell, and we need to raise it up, and we need to create experiences that are irresistible and that, are amazing for everybody, including the host, because I found out that there's so many hosts that are overwhelmed and stressed out, and they don't even have fun creating their events. And then that shows up in the events, and then people are not having the best experiences. So that's my mission. I want to help founders and experts create irresistible experiences so that the audiences want to come over and over again.
Thank you. Yes, I actually took part in some of your summits and experiences, and that's what I realized. Oh, you can do this at another level. The organization was amazing. And one thing that happens usually, I've seen in summits and different events is that people don't interact too much. They join and then they forget to watch the videos or interact with the people. But in the one that you hosted, the one that was, I think, about 1 or 2 years ago, so many people interacted and everyone was happy and they were commenting and connections were created. I've also taken part in a lot of summits, but that one was just, something else. So you've said that you've been in business for some time. Tell us a bit about how you started and your journey to be where you are today.
Whew, okay, it's been a long journey. I started back when It was about 2014. I had to quit my job because I was working with my stepdad and my mom, and they have elderly retirement home. And I was literally like burned out. I needed to do my own thing. And I had one credit left in the university to go finish the career, which is event planning. And I decided I was going to go back and I was going to finish things because I used to not finish things. And that was my self-sabotage. So I was like, okay, let me go back. And then when I went back, I needed a job. I needed to sustain myself. And I found virtual assistants. That's how my journey in entrepreneurship started officially. I started finding out how to make money online and being a virtual assistant for a real estate company and then for this amazing coder. And I was like, maybe I could make more money, right? Or I could do the events. So I came back with my degree and I decided I was going to join a network marketing company. So my parents have been in network marketing. They're not anymore, but they used to be in network marketing since Amway came to El Salvador. That was like 40 years ago. And I'm a second generation. So I believed in the dream of having financial freedom. And I got into network marketing and I started trying to reach my friends and family. And then I was like, no, this is not going to work out. I hate to do that. Let me find out how these big American teams have come and crushed it. And then I found out about digital marketing. I was like, wait a minute, they have funnels, they have email systems. This is not how they are teaching us here in Latin America. So I went on that rabbit hole and I became obsessed with digital marketing, with building websites, funnels, learning about marketing, and I put events to the side. And then I started teaching in Spanish. And because everybody was like, oh, you should teach in Spanish. And I was listening to everybody else instead of following what I wanted to do. So I built courses, I created challenges, I hosted challenges for the MLM I was in, and I made money. But I was not, I was not feeling it. And also, back then and still now, unfortunately, Latin America still has a very scarcity mentality. So I had to put the courses and my services to a very low cost, but I couldn't support my lifestyle that way. Yeah. So I went back to English and then I got obsessed with chatbots and ManyChat, and I started selling systems to my American clients and Canadian clients too. And I had some European. And I was like, okay, this is working. I love this. But honestly, I had a lot of things in my life happen. I lost my best friend. He unalived himself, and I was in a dark path. I was going very, very south. I was drinking too much. I was doing substances, and I was trying to numb all that part of myself while trying to build a business. So obviously, the business was not growing, and I hit rock bottom. And in that same time that I hit rock bottom, my mom actually introduced me to the world of building your email list through virtual summits. And something clicked. And I'm like, I can bring my two passions together, technology, automation, and events into this perfect combination. And from there, I started producing summits for clients. And I've had some pivot moments. I go back into automation and then I come back. But about 2 or 3 years ago, I decided that I was going to go full into events and virtual summits. And now I'm moving into in-person events again because I used to do in-person events in 2008. Don't let this baby face fool you. But I finally found my framework. You know how they say, oh, you have to have a framework. You have to da 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 da. And I was so lost in my journey. I didn't know how to create it, what to do. And then suddenly it was God sent. He sent me the formula, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I can pair my experience from events in person and everything I learned in the university and then bring it together into this world. And yeah, that's like in a nutshell how I ended up focusing on events and automation and streamlining events and doing this business full time. Because before, I thought It was more like a hobby, like freelancing. I was getting clients here and there, but I was not like focused on my mission and what I needed to do in this world, like my purpose. So it's been a long journey, but it has taught me so much. And also, before I got into entrepreneurship, I used to work in call centers. So I brought in my customer service and my sales experience into business. So I think that everything in my journey has brought me here, basically. Yeah, that's how I ended up here and doing this for my business.
Thank you. Yes, so it seems that everything you've been through prepares you for being here today and also to help others get organized. We are going to go into our first question. When it comes to organization, the first topic is going to be discipline. My first question for you, from the questions I usually ask all my guests, is what do you understand by discipline in business and how do you apply it to your everyday business life?
It's a great question because I did not grow up with discipline. That's one of the things that in my family, it was not there, especially when it comes to like exercise and like eating and all that. So when I came into business, I was a mess. And sometimes I'm not perfect right now, but now I have systems. So for me, business discipline is not like your eating habits or your health habits that have to be even more structured. I think that for business, we can be a little bit more flexible because some days are not going to be the same as other days. And especially in events. In events, everything is so different all the time. So what I do is I have my checklists. I have a checklist, I have systems that I've created that I follow. And for me, that's the most disciplined I can be because I don't want to be rigid. That's the way I work. So for me, discipline, it's not like every day you have to do the same exact thing every day, but just move the needle every single day. Like make sure that what you're doing right now, your future self is going to thank you for what you did today. So especially when it comes to producing and hosting events, I have this like 300 plus tasks checklist. And what I do
Wow.
to be disciplined is I break it down for weekly and daily so that it doesn't feel like a lot. And that's what I do when it comes for discipline. Like I try to break it down as much as possible so I don't overwhelm my nervous system as well and make sure that I can accomplish those things. Giving myself grace is important when you have discipline in business and knowing that life is going to life and not like be so hard on myself and give myself grace. So I think that part of my discipline is including grace in the process, right? Like, okay, so I couldn't get to finish that yesterday. And instead of beating myself up, I'm like, okay, I know that this takes longer now. Okay, for next time that I want to do a funnel, for example, I don't say, oh, I'm going to do it in a day. I say, I'll take a whole week.
Yeah.
So that way I don't stress my nervous system and I don't also feel like I didn't accomplish the thing. I think that it's important for us to make sure that we are not overwhelming ourselves because then we're going to go into flight, freeze, or fawn. And we're going to
Yeah.
go into survival mode and throw discipline out the window. Like,
Yes, that's true. So this leads us very nicely into the second question, which is what do you understand by strategy in business or marketing? Because you have experience in both. And how do you apply that?
well, your questions are loaded, Valentina. I love it. So, strategy for me, I like to reverse engineer. I learned this from Gary Vaynerchuk. We got to reverse engineer our goals. So, I want to achieve 5,000 a month. Okay. Everybody talks about 10, but I think
Yeah.
that we need to go slower. So, going back to my heritage and where I'm raised and the collective mindset of scarcity, I had issues a lot with money mindset. And honestly, my mentors right now are still telling me that I'm undercharging. So I'm raising my prices, but I would undercharge, right? So then I felt resentful. So
Yeah.
for me, strategy change in money mindset strategy, let's say, for example, right? What I had to do is I had to reverse engineer. Okay, so if I want to be making $3,000 a month, $2,000 a month, or charge this much for this service, right? Like, what do I need to deliver? I reverse engineer that. And then I had to like prune it as well, because sometimes we want to over deliver and then we undercharge and then we feel resentful.
Yes.
I had to purge it, and going back to like what I feel comfortable with, what I don't feel like I'm going to vomit. So for me, strategy is, okay, what is our goal? We're going to reverse engineer from there. Like, what do I have to do in order for me to get to that goal? And like I said before, right, give myself grace and not compare myself with others. Because
Yes.
what happens is that we go online and then we're seeing all these strategies, right? But here's the thing, all strategies work. We just have to
Yeah.
pick one and work it and put our blinders on. Like, you know how the horses have their blinders when they're running so they don't get distracted? We have to put our blinders on and not go to another shiny object, because what happened to me in my journey, like, I learned this lesson real bad and I'm still working on, like, hey, nope, that's not your strategy. Keep working on your strategy. So for me, it's like we need to make sure that that strategy goes with our lives, our lifestyles. So instead of saying, okay, I'm going to do 75 hard, that's a strategy for
Yeah.
losing weight and for discipline, right? But it might not work for you because maybe you're a mom, maybe you're not a mom, but you have other responsibilities, right? So your life is different from everybody else's. So if we choose a strategy that's too hard on us, even though 75, obviously 75 hard has it in the name, we all know it's hard.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that the strategies that we choose and the strategies that we create for our own lives have to work for us, not for everybody else, like the mainstream. They say that, oh, we have to post so many times a day, but also posting consistently in a disciplined way 3 times a week also creates a good result, right? Not as fast as the other one, but we have to make sure that that strategy fits into our life. I know I said that again, but I'm going to repeat it because I think it needs to go into everybody's brain, right? Strategy is just the way we work things, the way we do things to achieve the goals. And then we have the principles, right? So principles don't change, but strategy can change all the
Yeah.
time, depending on the market, depending on our stage in our lives, depending on so many things, our personalities, our human design, our all the things. That's a long answer for what strategy is.
No, it's comprehensive. And I think it's really important for people to understand because, as you said, strategy is different for everyone. And we need to understand that we are going to choose the strategy that matches our lifestyle. I actually was talking about this with one of my previous guests, and I was talking about the 5 a.m. club and
Mm.
how you wake up and, journal, meditate, go to the gym, do loads of stuff. And when I first found out about this, my daughter was 1, and I was a bit upset with me at that moment because I wasn't able to do it. So for a while I was upset and I was like, no, I'm not going to make it because, but then I realized, no, 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 that is not the strategy for me. And yes, that's what we really need to take into account. Now, actually, you went again into the next question, which is what do you understand by a lifestyle-led business, and how well do you think your business is optimized at present for this?
Okay, so I'm going to start with the second part of the question first. I just am currently, right now, building a strategy that works with the kind of lifestyle I want. So I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs. I've always seen the example of time freedom.
Yeah.
And I wanted to model my lifestyle, my business to that. So if I want to go to the beach on Monday, who cares, right? If I need to go out of town because there's something that happened and I need to be in a city, right? That I need to be there and not worry about all the other stuff in the business. I wanted to model my business with time freedom because I've learned in this so many years of life that we cannot make more time, but we can make more money.
Yeah.
That's how I'm modeling my business. Like, I don't take calls earlier than 11 a.m., whatever time zone I'm in,
Yes.
right? I don't take calls after 6 p.m., whatever time zone I'm in. So if I'm traveling, I have to let my clients know, hey, I'm in this time zone. So if you get a message late, don't worry about answering me, right? Like, respect the boundaries. And that's how I'm structuring my business. And I understand that when I have events, I'm not going to have a life and there's no boundaries. And that's fine.
Yes. Yeah.
So I tell my clients, listen, for the week of the event, I will text you at 11 p.m. if I need to. Please reply. Right? Because we need to solve problems, or I need a reply because I need you to confirm something, or whatever it is. That's how I'm structuring, right? While I'm building the event, while we're planning the event, we are staying in this time period, right? Like a business hours.
Yeah.
And then when the event is coming up, or we're in the event right now, then we throw that to the window. Throw it out, because we need to be on top of things, right? Especially me as an event coordinator as well, because I do all parts of events. Problems are going to come and they're going to show up, and I need to think on my feet to solve them. And honestly, I love that. A lot of people hate that, but I'm obsessed with problem solving. And that's how I'm building my lifestyle, right? And also, there's another thing, right? Like, a lot of my colleagues, they have event after event after event after event, and then they burn out.
Yes.
Absolutely not. So I have a cap on how many clients and how many events I do a month, because I want to keep my sanity. And my mental health is way more important
Yes.
than
Yeah.
anything. And my clients' mental health too. Like, it's not going to be a success if you're stressed out. I want to create, and I say I want to create because I'm building it right now, a business where it's not always chill, but most of the time it is. I want to be chill as a cucumber, I say. So I teach my clients things I'm learning from my nervous system coach. And we do sessions on, like, hey, let's relax right now. There's nothing we can do. We go through the things we can control and things we cannot control. I like to set expectations. I learned this when I was selling and in customer service. We need to set up expectations for our clients, for our audience, for our community. This is when we're going to show up. And eventually, I want to do the same thing as one of my business coaches. She only works 3 weeks a month and 4 hours a day. And I'm like, girl, that's the kind of life I want. So to have a whole week off, because as women, we're different. We don't operate 24/7. We need time to, like, be creative. We need time where we need to rest. We need time where we can go, 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 go. And I want to build my lifestyle with that. So for example, maybe it's TMI for the men, but I will plan my events in my ovulation week, because I'm more excited. I'm more go, 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 right? I will never in my life have it when I'm PMSing. That's not happening. First, I look at my cycle calendar before I decide dates. And I think all women should, by the way. Make sure that your business is going with your cycle, because if
Yeah.
not, you're just going to burn out. And that's what I've learned about other friends and colleagues. I have friends, millionaires, that are burned out, and they will
Yeah.
never admit it publicly, but I know because they're in my DMs. Right? So I'm like, I don't want your life. Thank you very much. No amount of money is going to save you from burnout.
Yeah.
And that's how I'm setting up the lifestyle with my business, because I, as a cautionary tale, the smartest thing we can do is learn from other people's mistakes.
Yes.
Smartest thing we can do. And I've learned that if we do not build the business around how we want to live our life, we're going to end up in burnout. And I want to avoid that at all costs, because to get out of burnout, it takes 7 years. Not months, not days, years for you to get out of physical burnout, which is kind of crazy. I
Yeah.
think it's
Yep.
kind of insane. So that's what I'm building in my business. And even though the event is very stressful, but I love that stress. So that's another advice that I could give, is like, find the stress that you like. Find the stress that invigorates you, that excites you, that's you're like giddy to go and solve that problem, or giddy to go and do that thing. Because there are so many other things that I absolutely will not do because they stress me out so much,
Yeah.
but in a
Yeah.
bad way. So yeah, that's how I'm setting up my business to fit my lifestyle.
Mm. Actually, you said about the 3 weeks. That's how I actually run my businesses. I've done this for a few years. I only work 3 weeks on any given month. So last year I had 17 weeks of holiday. And
Love that for you.
yeah, I work only 3 hours a day in any of my businesses. Like, I usually work between 9 and 3 if I need to. For example, today I only had 1 hour of work, so I could get everything else ready. And also, talking about this, just to let people know, someone told me once, I wish I had built my business like you have it with these 3 weeks. And I told them, no, I didn't do this at the beginning. This is something that happened in time. If anyone is actually listening to us right now and they are in the beginning stages, they're going to know how to organize. But most of the time, life happens, something happens. In my case, my daughter started school and I had to work less. I had too many one-to-ones and I had to move them to groups because I didn't have hours in the day. Then here in the UK, they have 1 week of holiday every 5, 6, or 7 weeks, which was like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? Because of that, I took out a week, and then I realized for my programs, it's not logical to have a free week every 5, 6, or 7 weeks. So I just said, okay, let's do every month. If anyone is listening to us at home, the way I do it, for example, and I teach this in my Life Before Business program, this is something free that is on YouTube. I do my calendar over the year. I organize all my daughter's weeks when she's off school. Then I organize, to make it logical for every month. And those are going to be my working weeks. And then I have fixed schedule where I do what I do, like teaching, because I have another business with some teachers besides this coaching thingy. Teaching, editing, interviewing, etc. You need to do it, as you said, thinking, what kind of life do I want, and work towards that. And most of the time, I think people don't believe that is possible. Like in the beginning, remember, I made those changes because I had to. And one of the things I teach now is you need to believe that you can prioritize yourself. Because in the beginning, I was thinking, no, my clients can't come at certain hours. They need to come at weekends because they work during the week. They need the evenings because they work during the day. And I was like, no. And something else I also talk about is how we get to build this lifestyle business as a third step. We always first prioritize money and clients. Then we realize we neglect our families and we are like, oh my God, I'm neglecting my family and friends. And then we realize, wait, actually, I should be on the first place, because if I take care of myself, then I can take care of everyone. But that comes last when you're like fed up and overwhelmed and burnt out and everything is like, no, this business was built for me and for my family and for my friends and for my clients and so on. So
Yeah.
yes, I think that is a very good thing that you told us, because people need to understand how things are done, and they shouldn't regret that they are at the step they are right now.
Mhm.
Things can change if you plan. This is something else. Like you said, you've been doing this full time, like for 3 years, and now you're working on this. Working on this for people who don't understand means planning and taking steps. Like for me to transition into this model that I have right now, it took me about 1.5 years too. So this is not something that comes overnight.
No, it doesn't happen overnight at all. Like, giving the example of my business coach, well, she calls herself my favorite social media coach. She didn't start her business like that.
Yep.
She started like, guys, this is insane. I'm going to tell you a little bit of her story because you're going to understand how crazy it was. At first, she would have a full-time job and she would wake up at 5 a.m. every day, go live around 6 a.m. every single day, and then she would take calls during her lunch hour. That's how
Yep.
it started. It
Mm.
didn't start like 3 weeks and 1 week is Black Week. She calls it Black Week. I would call it Red Week. But like she didn't start like that. And I'm not starting like that either. And Valentina didn't start like that either. Like it takes time. It takes a lot of pivots and a lot of like, hey, no, I really don't like this way. I'm building this. Sometimes we're going to have to fire clients because they don't work well with
Yeah.
us or our lifestyle. And what you were saying, it's so important. It's like, first we think that we need to, oh, I need to do my webinars, just as a random example, every day at 8 p.m. Why?
Yeah.
Why? You could do them at 10 a.m., at 1 p.m., at whatever time works for you, as long as you're consistent and people know that you're going to show up.
Yep.
That's the key, right? Like you teach your audience, this is how I'm showing up, this is how I'm doing things, and this is the cap that I have. And like I said, right, like I don't want to be like my colleagues that have 2 or 3 events every single week. Absolutely freaking not. One max a week. That's I think that
Yep.
I can handle. So, and if I want to have 1 week off, it's a 3.
Yep.
And even with the team, like listen, like this is not about us telling you like how to create your business, but it's about putting yourself first, like Valentina said, like putting yourself first and then your family and then the business or however your priorities are. But I think that if moms and especially women, okay, I think moms are superheroes and moms have to, when I say it, and I'm going to repeat it again, you have to put yourself first. I know that you want to put your kid first. I know that you want maybe to put your husband first. I know that you want to, but no, here's the thing. When moms are not okay, we're not okay.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. Like if you are in angst, like I see a lot of them, and I'm an eldest child, so I practically raised everybody too. So when I see kids being like super rugrats and I see the mom, I can tell that they're throwing their energy at them. And that's
Yeah.
what like whatever, it's a reflection of you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, moms, but it is a reflection of you. Whatever your energy is, whatever you're feeling, you're depleted and burnt out, the kid is going to manifest it.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
work on yourself first, heal yourself first, regulate your nervous system, and take care of yourself. Have self-care
Yeah.
time. And I'm not saying go to the salon and get your nails done. I'm saying self-care as in like take your time. Don't grab screens first. Don't start thinking your day about everybody else but yourself. Because that's
Yeah.
when burnout comes.
So this again leads us nicely into the next question, which is what are 1 to 3 lessons you've learned from being a business owner? And in your case, it's also interesting because your parents were also business owners. Actually, in my case, I'm also a second generation. My dad was the first one, and I started. Many people start their businesses for money because well that's how life is. I started it for status because I saw him as a business owner and I was like, I want to be the boss. And I
I
also
don't
had
want to anybody boss me around.
yeah, it was really nice, and yeah, he supported me in starting. So my story is a bit different when I started, but from your experience and from your family's experience, what would be 1 to 3 lessons you would like to share with us?
Oof, lessons. Well, the first lesson I would, what we were talking about actually. about putting ourselves first. Okay, let's go back. I'm second generation network marketer, but I don't know what generation entrepreneur. This is like I had great grandparents that had farms and they were the boss, like, and we found an article of my great grandma with her gloves and her cat, and beautiful, right? Back in the day, they were important in the society. So I did learn a lot about failure and like burning down businesses and like bankruptcy and all that stuff. I've seen how my family members, because a lot of my family members are business owners too, how they've burned out. And that's
Yeah.
why I want to avoid that. That's the first lesson. Like, learn from the mistakes of who surrounds you that's building a business, right? And I've seen how stressed out, for example, my uncle gets. Like, I can see his vein, like, and I'm like, ooh, hard pass. So from that, I learned that even if it takes me a little longer, it's okay. But I don't want to reach to that point on where everybody's dependent on me for making it work. I think that it's important that we create systems. And now that we have technology, this is why I'm obsessed with automations and systems and planning and organization and all these things, because I think that that takes a load off our shoulders. So if an email is being answered immediately when people sign up, if a message is being sent through our social media with an automation so that we don't have to be on top of things all the freaking time, do it. Like, invest in it. It's important that you take that stress off, because at the beginning we think we should do everything manually. And like, yes, you got to learn how to do the process and learn the manual process of it. And then once it's growing, it's immediate time to be adding some systems. At the beginning, no, but as you go on, you can start adding systems, but make sure you always have like a plan. I know that the saying says we plan and then God laughs. Yes, that's true. He has better plans for us, but we still have to plan. We still have to create that, like, to look forward to something, right? To know where we're headed. I think that when we don't know where we're headed, I think that when we don't know what we're building, when we're just throwing ourselves without a parachute and building it in as we go, which is business in general, I think that we need to know where we're landing at least. So that's why I love this saying, like, shoot to the moon and land among the stars. Because, and I know I've said a lot of cliche sayings, but they're cliche for a reason. We need to know where we're landing. So, like, make sure that you sit down and plan. And I know that planning is not sexy for a lot of people. They just want to go, right? And some people stay in the planning phase and don't go. So that's the second lesson. When you plan, done is better than perfect.
Yes.
Do it. Do it messy. Do it with mistakes. Fix the mistakes. Do it again. And keep doing it over and over and over again. Never listen to bad advice of like, oh, you shouldn't host that masterclass again because nobody showed up. That's why you actually have to do the masterclass again. Don't think that you're going to be good at the beginning. You're going to suck. And that's okay. Like, guys, if you would go to my first YouTube video, oh my gosh, it's embarrassing. Embarrassing. I started my YouTube channel before live was a thing. I was reading on a script on paper. We did not have those teleprompter AI things that we have now.
Yeah.
It was a paper, all right? The lighting was terrible. The audio was horrible. Like, I sucked. I hated myself on camera. I thought I needed to lose weight. I needed to be more eloquent. I needed to so many things. But if I didn't practice, if I didn't do it and stumble and say, oh, that's terrible, let's do it again and again and again and again. Because every time you just have to learn what went wrong and then do it again. And that's like the biggest lesson. I actually have it in this bracelet. I had it engraved. This is my antidote for perfection. It says, I am getting better and better.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do. Gotta get better and better and better at what you do. Like for me, like I told you before, I did not have a framework. I didn't have a system. I was jumping from English to Spanish to digital marketing to attraction marketing to teaching chatbots to teaching marketing again in Spanish, teaching chatbots in Spanish, teaching summits, going back to automations. Like in Spanish, I would say del tingo al tango, from like one side to the other, to the other, to the other, like trying to find my way. And I had to give myself grace. So that's
Yeah.
like the third lesson. I know I talked about this before, but like seriously, I'm gonna be adamant about this. Don't be so hard on yourself. Listen to what you're saying about yourself. Listen to what you're programming into your subconscious while you're saying really bad things about yourself. Think about, would you let somebody talk like that to your kid, to your best friend, about your parents, about your partner? No, right? You would like jump and be mama bear or be a lion and rip people's heads off, right? If they're talking that way about somebody you love. So like start loving yourself first. Start listening to what you're saying, because sometimes we do not listen to what we're saying. And that's one of the hardest lessons I've had to learn, because I used to put my foot in my mouth so much, like so much. It's embarrassing, but I had to become self-aware. So becoming self-aware is a hard process on like, we're gonna listen to our thoughts and not judge them. Don't judge your thoughts, because if we're judging our thoughts, we're not giving ourselves grace. Just let them come. And if you don't like them, veto it. You can veto your thoughts. You can call root failure to your thoughts. You can say, no, I throw this to the abyss. I do not believe this. This is BS. Take it out. But as we become self-aware of our thoughts and what we're saying, then we're going to start changing our lives, literally, because our words are powerful. So just like be careful what you're saying. And I always go on mindset when it comes to my biggest advice in business, because it is tough out there. There's so much competition, so much comparison, so much lies. Do you know how many people lie online?
Yes.
God, people are lying online.
Yeah, this is a problem because sometimes you don't know who to trust. There are so many people faking it. And I always say it's not fake it till you make it. What I teach my clients is to become the version of themselves that their clients need. Like if you need to improve something, about your discipline or your strategy, or as an expert, you need to learn something more, do it. But try to embody that, not to fake it till you make it. Try to progress, to develop, to become that thing. You need to embody that.
I
So
love
yes,
that.
I totally agree with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I love what you said about if you need to learn something more. Listen, I created my framework and now I had to learn about things I had no idea inside of my framework. So I used the 5 senses and I created the 5 event languages. I had no idea that hearing and seeing is actually so diverse. There's a spectrum completely, right? Not everybody sees the same way you do. I did know about colorblind, obviously, because that's more popular,
Yeah.
right? And about being completely blind. But I didn't know that there's people that see 40%, 60%. Like there's so many things, right, that I now have to learn about our physical selves and our body, because I created this formula that I'm like, oh yeah, of course. Not everybody sees and hears, tastes, touch, and smell the same way. I'm
Yeah.
like, it didn't seem obvious before, but now I'm like, I have to go back and I have to learn all of this now. And I'm excited to learn all of these things now so I can help my clients be better at their events and their experiences and show people that we care about them, which is my biggest thing, right? We need to show that to people that we care. It's not like we're lying completely online. Some people are doing it for sure. But some people are just trying to become what you said. They're trying to become who they want to be.
Yeah.
And that's why they're sharing some of those things, because that's how they want to be perceived as. And that's okay, as long as we are honest with ourselves and we're honest with our clients and we don't, are unethical.
Yeah. Actually, I think my fourth guest in the podcast teaches this, like thinking that being ethical is not something that should be one of your business values or something like this. It's something that comes up naturally. You need to have this. Is not like I am ethical. You should be. You should be. You shouldn't.
Everybody should be,
just
but
have it. Yeah.
but here we are.
Yes. So, because you know a lot about business and about marketing and you've been around for some time, my next question is, how do you show your expertise and your authority in your marketing?
Okay, I am learning a lot more how to market myself, because it's really easy to tell people how to market themselves, because you can see it from like a bird's eye view, right? It's like, oh yeah, of course you should do this and you should do that and da 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 da. So right now I am working on coming back to marketing myself. I'm like a hermit, so like I disappear and then I come back. I disappear and I come back. And I am creating content, not just valuable content, but I love to teach tutorials on YouTube. I love to do long form content so that they know about my processes. And also, I relaunched my podcast. So, what I'm doing is I'm going through my whole process episode by episode. So, I broke it down in like a gazillion episodes.
Yeah.
And I'm on episode 5 right now. And I'm teaching through my podcast all my expertise. And I'm going to bring in colleagues of mine, event hosts, and I'm going to bring also potential clients to create their event on the podcast.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I'm doing new this year. The other thing is I am speaking on summits and podcasts as much as I can. This year is all about connection and community, and not necessarily social media marketing, but word of mouth marketing. So I don't want to focus on like big vanity numbers. That's one of the goals that I have this year. I don't care how many followers I have on my social media, because I know some people on threads they say too many things. Guys, don't share too much. Don't share too much. Because I can see big accounts and then people saying on threads like, oh my gosh, like I haven't had a client in 30 days. And I'm like, guys, shh, say that to your coach, not online. But what I'm saying with that, it's like I want to bring into my world through my podcast, being on guests on podcasts, being on summits, being on stages myself, even though I create my own stages because I don't wait for people to bring me on a stage. I want to be more intentional about the communities I'm showing up in. I am regulating my nervous system. Right now, I'm working with my coach on regulating my nervous system so that I feel safe in all these environments and safe receiving money, which is the most important part of business, like the most.
Yeah.
So with my marketing, what I'm showcasing is I'm going to start showcasing the process and the journey. And then I'm going to focus on just sharing my framework, because I was not doing that before.
Yeah.
Before I was just sharing about, events and how they help and da 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 da, and why Fortune 500 companies have them, da 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 da, right? About events. But now this year, I'm going to start focusing on my framework and showing my expertise online without having to like force the algorithm, if you will, on like all this trends and all this super editing and whatever. I don't care, because I am aiming for quality, not quantity. So that's what I'm doing in my marketing this year. I'm focusing quality, 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 and forgetting about quantity. Quantity is going to come eventually. And also, I decided that I don't want to be famous. I want to be popular. There's a
Popular.
difference. Exactly. That's the song I sing all the time when I
I
say
have.
that. My life is a musical. So if I hear a phrase and I'm gonna start singing, don't worry about
I
it.
do the same. I do the same. Even during sessions with clients, or I just start singing, and then I'm like, "Oh, this must be weird."
Hey, if you're not having fun, for me that's fun. Like I hear a phrase and I'm gonna start singing it, and I think birds of a feather, weirdness connects. So I'm focusing on like word of mouth marketing. I'm focusing on showcasing my expertise by being in the right room at the right time, doing the right things in the right order. I say that all the time as well when I'm doing my meditations and my affirmations, repeating that I'm at the right time in the right place. And I'm going to go to events, always events, in person events, virtual events, networking virtual events, finding my people, not necessarily on all communities, but on the communities I feel like I should be there. I'm already in about two communities. I cannot add another one, right? I'm one in the nerd community, which I love that. We're vibe coding, we're learning how to vibe code. So it's like being intentional about where I'm showing up. It's my marketing strategy this year. Being intentional about what I'm saying on the podcast every time I get invited as well. Sharing my framework and the summits and just sharing that talk. I am not going to adapt it. I know I ask my speakers to do this, so I'm sorry, but I am not adapting to the subject that you're asking me to speak on. I will speak on this. If you want me, great. If not, that's okay. I could get you a colleague or somebody I can refer you. But have a signature talk. I learned that from Ziza, and I'm staying put, right? Like, so focus. Focus is important in marketing this year. And again, sharing my framework and my expertise. And I think that everybody should do that. Create your own framework if you don't have it, your step-by-step process, and share how you apply it to your clients.
Yeah, that's why I actually started this podcast last year. And I also wanted to focus a lot more on YouTube. And I've also decided on what I'm going to share for free and like really, really help from my frameworks.
Yeah.
And this part with like life before business, I think it's really important because not many people talk about it. Something else that you said, my word actually for 2026 is connection. So yes, I think this is what's going to happen now with AI, because AI can answer most of the questions and you can Google everything. People are going to want to follow someone who has experience, has been there, has done that, and they are sharing your process. And I think I actually had a post yesterday on Facebook saying something like this, like you should not just talk about your results, share with people your journey and also share with them your struggles, what happened. This is what people are looking for right now, because answers to all the other questions, they are already out there.
Yes, the information is out there, and use AI to help you 100%. Like I use it every single day. I'm obsessed with it. But show up. That's why I said show up in rooms, show up in events, go to events. Valentina, you're in the UK. I'm going to share a couple of events that I went to 2 years ago. You're going to love them. I'll connect you. I can't go to the UK this year, or I might. And if you don't find the right events, host your own events. Build your own dang stage. Stop waiting for another stage. Show up. Connection, and community is what's going from now on. Like you said, AI. We can just go to ChatGPT. We could go to Google. We could go to Gemini, Cloud. I can name all the AIs, but all the information is out there. It's time for us to go back to connection. It's time for us to go back to word of mouth marketing, and it actually works even better.
Yes. Yeah. We're recording this in January, guys. But what are your offers, at the end of January, and what are you promoting?
Right now, I'm actually, if this has come out before February 23rd, I'm going to be in a summit by Krista Miller, one of my colleagues. And then I'm going to speak next month in another summit called Collaborations That Monetize. So it's all about connection and collaboration. So in those summits, I am speaking on the topic use the 5 senses and the 5 event languages to create unforgettable summits. So I created a few new offers, and that's what I'm going to be talking about the whole year and probably for the rest of the next few years, which is how to create your events and take them to the next level. Like you said, Valentina, you've been to some of my events and we can make them better. So I created a GPT. I used AI. So I'm creating 2 things. I have a new GPT that it's called the Irresistible Experience Creator, where it's going to ask you a lot of questions, but if you answer honestly, it's going to give you ideas on how to adapt the 5 senses and the 5 event languages to any event. So summits, retreats, conferences, workshops, master classes, whatever event, it's going to help you come up with ideas without having to need me. So it's like my brain inside of AI. And also I'm creating a new app where you're going to put some answers as well. And it's going to help you bring that event idea to life. So the first stages of planning your event. And I also always have my one-on-one, which is I help you bring that idea to life and plan and produce your event from scratch and in person or virtual, anywhere in the world. But right now, there are 2 tech products that I'm really obsessed with, my GPT and the app, the Irresistible Experiences app and the Irresistible Experience Creator, keeping it all on brand, where you're going to just type in some answers and get ideas and help you plan your event. That's what I have for this year.
That sounds amazing. So my last question is, have you got a free gift for our listeners and the people who watch us?
Yes, of course. So I created the guide. I call it the Irresistible Experience Guide, where it's going to have all of the questions that you need to ask yourself so that you can come up with the ideas on how to implement the 5 senses and the 5 event languages to your events. And that's absolutely for free.
I'm actually going to get the link and have it in the description of the video, also with your links. And this is actually my last question. If people want to get in touch with you, where can they find you? What's the platform you're mostly on?
You can find me on Instagram. My handle is Irresistible Latina. I'm also a lot on Facebook. You can find me just with my name, no last names, Anna Andrea. So my first and my second name. That's where I hang out the most. I do have all the platforms. You can find me on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Threads. I'm a lot on Threads. So Irresistible Latina too. So I'm a lot on Threads and Instagram at the moment, and Facebook. So those are the 3 that I hang out the most. And you could also go to my website, annaandrea.com. Yeah, you can find me anywhere. I'm honestly everywhere.
So yes, guys, if you want to get in touch with Anna, you are going to have all the links to go and do it. Now that we've come to the end of the podcast, I'd like to thank you for being a guest today.
Thank you, Valentina, for having me. It's been a great conversation. I hope that it helps a lot of people today.
Anna just gave us permission to build our businesses differently, planning around your cycle, capping your client load to protect your mental health, and actually listening to the cruel things you say to yourself. These aren't soft skills. They're survival skills. If you want to create events that people actually engage with instead of passively consume, grab Anna's free Irresistible Experience Guide. Links in the description, along with her Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and website. And if this episode hit differently, subscribe and join our community. Because of privacy reasons, we're not in the YouTube community right now. We've created a separate community on our platform. We also have an app you can download and you can interact with us at any time. And please let me know in the comments which part of this episode made you stop and think. See you in the next episode.